Congratulations to all the Chiefs fans who watch this channel. You had a better week 12 than I did. So I already talked a lot about the Thursday Night Bills game on my last video. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm a little worked up. There's rage. There's some rage. So I'll do like a couple little updates on what's happened since then. Nothing really to give me any indication that we're making any changes that'll do any good. So today we released Elijah Moore, signed Brandin Cooks, who had been released by the Saints. I feel bad for Elijah Moore. I don't think Elijah Moore is a bad receiver. We had absolutely no idea how to use him. The couple times that we let him go loose downfield didn't just relegate him to like gadget guy who does jet sweeps. He had some really good catches, but we just didn't utilize him. I wonder if Brandon Beane is just not conversing with Joe Brady in the offseason about who to bring onto the roster. Hey Joe, what do you want to do this season? Who's going to work for you? And instead he just brings on like 5 gadget guys and Joe Brady's like, guess I'm doing bubble screens. Cooks, at least from what I understand, has some speed. Hopefully he can get up some separation. He's 32. I don't know. Speaking of 32, might even be older than this. We just re-signed Shaq Lawson for the 3rd time to go along with Jordan Phillips, who we recently signed to the active roster for the 4th time. And, I have fondness for both of these men. Shaq we put on the practice squad. I'm sure we'll just elevate him. I don't think he'll ever make his way onto the active roster at this point in the season. And we need a body available at defensive end. So bringing back Shaq is not a bad thing. I'm not mad at it. It's just silly. Like, it's getting silly, the number of old players we just keep bringing back because we can't conceptualize. There's this concept of like, I hear all the time, well, at this point in the season, we have to bring back old players because they understand the scheme. Like, the scheme is the scheme. It's so complicated. It's so brilliantly McDermotty that there's no way that anybody could be plugged into the system without like a full 6 months of learning it. Maybe it's not a good scheme. Like, why do you have a scheme that's that complicated and unsuccessful? Just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I think those are the big things that we did. And Curtis Samuel's probably going to end up on injured reserve. I don't know what's going on with Spencer. He's all busted. At least we've got another backup lineman who's coming off injured reserve. So like maybe that... I just feel real down on where our season is going. I feel like our season is on a downswing and the Chiefs season is on an upswing, which I don't like. From that point, we can move on to the Chiefs game. What's the deal with the Colts? I've been hearing all season about how good the Colts are and how unbeatable Jonathan Taylor is and how Daniel Jones has redeemed himself, and I just didn't see any of that. I saw a couple decent runs out of Taylor, especially like with the second effort he can give, but Kareem Hunt was doing that too. It wasn't anything special. I didn't look at him and see prime Derrick Henry or anything. And Daniel Jones looked like a perfectly competent quarterback, but I looked at this team and I was like, how do they have the record that they have? They're not doing anything special. And blame the Colts offensive struggles on the Chiefs defense, but the Chiefs defense happened to be playing extraordinarily well compared to how they played in a lot of other games this season. Chris Jones, I don't know if Chris was injured or something early in the season. I don't remember hearing about him being injured. I mean, I see him getting like back massages and oxygen every time he's off the field, but like nothing on the injury report that I know of that I've heard people talk about. But he was playing real hard, which he hasn't done. So maybe that's a big part of the difference. As far as the Colts defense, I don't think at any point in that game, any name of any player on that defense stuck with me other than Sauce, who I already knew. I heard his name because he kept getting called for face masks or not called for face masks that he should have been called for. Just nothing about that team impressed me at all. So maybe if the Bills do make it to the playoffs, we can see if we go up against the Colts in the wild card round. That might be good if they continue to be unimpressive, but maybe they'll be like the best team on earth against us. It's not like we're great against the run. But yeah, good showing by the Chiefs. Like I said during the game, the receivers really didn't turn anything on until Rasheed kind of went turbo towards the end. Like he had a couple really good catches and runs, and I don't know how much of that is just because the Colts defense was kicked. They were so tired. But, good showing by everybody. Solid game by the Chiefs. Kudos to you guys. For those of you who aren't Chiefs fans who are watching, I know we've got a Panthers fan who watches a lot. Panthers didn't look great. Panthers didn't look great. Not like the Niners looked fantastic either, because Purdy is not making an impressive comeback after his toe injury. Did toes make you throw interceptions? Is that a thing? But that game was just so turnover heavy. That game was on crack. I really stopped paying attention after the 2-point conversion that didn't get converted. And I know that my opinion on this topic is not supported by analytics, apparently. Apparently, you have a 50% chance of getting a 2-point conversion. That doesn't seem right to me. I feel like that analytics needs to be analyzed more. Like, I feel like maybe certain teams have a 50% chance. We have like a 0% chance. I think you can't use that number as a blanket number. They took a point off the board that made it that much harder for them to catch up. There are situations where, yeah, it's worth going for a 2-point. And yes, I get that there was a penalty and it moved them to the 1. But I feel like the whole point of like, oh, we got moved to the 1, we should do it. Why are you then just doing a play that you would have done normally? Why are you doing a pass play that's just the same as what you would have done if you'd done a 2-point without the penalty? If you're on the 1, that should be beneficial for a team like us that's really good at quarterback sneaks, or a team that has a really good short distance back, like Demo. There are lots of situations where that makes more sense. Just having Bryce Young pass it from the 1, what difference did that make? It didn't make any difference. Why are you doing that? And now it's 17-9, and you're like, okay, now I have to get a 2-point conversion the next time just to tie it in the end of all of this. There are other ways you could do it. There's different configurations of point getting, but they weren't doing a great job getting points on the board. So I feel like in that situation, take a point. Take a point, get off the field, hope you get another interception. You probably will. That wasn't an impressive showing by either team. I didn't watch Eagles Cowboys. I hear it was fun. I am not usually one to root for the Cowboys, but I'm also not one to root for the Eagles either. And so this week, given what the Cowboys have recently gone through, I was kind of rooting for the Cowboys a little bit. So once in my life, you'll see me happy about a Cowboys comeback game. So good job to them. Now you can go back to sucking. Oh, but not this week, because I need you to beat the Chiefs this week on tomorrow. So yeah, you can suck next week. Again, Cowboys, thank you. Got it. I will be streaming the Chiefs game on Thanksgiving. There may be, towards the end, some people wandering around in the background because of Thanksgiving. I'm very sad that the Giants didn't manage to ride that Jameis reception trick play to a win. That would have been fun. I saw somebody say that Jameis should sign a new form of contract where he's just the backup quarterback for every single team in the league. And so whenever anybody needs a quarterback, you bring in Jameis and he does Jameis things. He doesn't need to know a scheme. He just Jameis's. The Steelers lost. We will be playing them next week, so now they're getting desperate, so they'll be playing hard. I think Aaron Rodgers will be back for that. My understanding is Joe Burrow will be back for our Bengals game the week after that. This is all lining up just great. Just great. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Any other teams that needed discussion? Oh, someone did get punched in the dick, so that was a fun thing that happened this week. I've seen so many fun euphemisms for that on the more official tweets that are like, he received a 1-game suspension for unauthorized touching of the groin area. I'm like, you punched him in the dick. Fist punched him in the dick. And then Shanahan was like, I'm really proud of him for not flipping out. And people are like, but he did flip out. And I'm like, no, he didn't flip out in the moment. He waited. Kudos for waiting. I don't have a dick, but if I got punched in the dick, I don't think I'd be able to wait until the game was over to go slap the guy in the face. Patriots continue to win, so that's cool. And okay, last thing worth talking about, the Rams? Who's going to beat the Rams, man? They are playing out of their minds. And I mean, Baker's hurt now, so there was that aspect of things, but that doesn't change what Matthew Stafford is up to. That guy. Oh my God. And of course, Bills fans are sitting over here. I think Brandon Beane specifically said at one point, we don't want to get to be in a situation like the Rams. We don't want to have to do a full teardown. They did a full teardown for like a year, and now they're back. And now they might win another Super Bowl with their 37-year-old quarterback who is still playing amazingly. Okay, I can say that the fact that the Rams were able to pull that off is kind of astounding. So I understand why Brandon Beane would be like, we don't want to be in that situation. It's not normal for them to be able to do a rebuild that quickly and that successfully. But I watched us play the Rams last year, and we played hard, offensively at least, against the Rams last year. Matthew Stafford makes it look so easy. Josh looks like he's fighting for his life every game, and he looks like he's having fun doing it, but it's never easy for him. Matthew Stafford gets out there and is like, boom, Devontae, boom, Puka. I don't know what you do when you're us. We're not gonna do anything. Have you seen how Pagula deals with the Sabres? He's gonna coast. He's fine with it. These are his buddies. Like, I've never seen a businessman so uninterested in his businesses and making sure they function. But you know why? Because it's still making money. And that's depressing. I'm glad he saved us from being owned by Bon Jovi and moved to Toronto, but it would be nice if he really took some pride in whether his teams win or not. Mostly or not. And on that note, go Bills.